Monster Hunter Wilds Title Update 2 is here, and oh boy, is it freaking peak. Of course, we got to talk about Lagiacrus, a monster that I actually thought hadn't been in a Monster Hunter for like 13, 14 years, but apparently it was also in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which came out in 2017, so it hasn't been too long now, but it's been a couple of years. It's cool to be able to face this thing that's kind of the stuff of legends. Like, this thing is supposed to be the Lord of the Sea, and it really is this massive force to be reckoned with. The thing is freaking huge. Plus, being this Leviathan that has the ability to control electricity, it kind of just secures the dub, like, immediately. If you're in the water, you're literally cooked. One of the moves I saw him do the most is he'll kind of coil up and then he'll whip outward, which was really interesting. I saw him do that a lot. I'm a big fan of the Lagiacrus armor as well. All of the spikes, the orange, the blue, the jaws hanging around the neck as well. It's a super cool design. Plus, I like that the armor actually looks kind of wet. It looks like it's been submerged, so it has kind of that like shiny detail to it as well, so that's pretty cool. It was cool too because on stream today we were talking about the other Monster Hunters and just older games in general, and we said, you know, all of these details and this super high definition and all this kind of stuff that we see now, this is what we thought stuff looked like a decade ago, or 13, 14, 15 years ago when we were playing the original games, or, you know, if something has a remaster now or something, whatever it may be, we thought it looked that good then. So it's just really cool to be able to see stuff from older games or be able to experience remasters now. Like, that's super cool, man. Seregios, I'm definitely saying that wrong. They pronounce his name in the game. I already forgot how to pronounce it, but his armor looks dope as well, and it is super cool to be able to fight him too. I definitely like the designs, man. I mean, come on, look at the spikes, look at the horns, look at the broad shoulders. Again, that kind of shiny design too. Almost like Power Ranger-esque, like a little bit. I can kind of see it. Definitely looks really cool, man. So I like this design too. This is some really nice looking armor. Speaking of Seregios, I'm so sorry that I'm pronouncing it wrong. It's really cool to be able to fight him as well. The dude looks freaking dope, and I did actually cart one time to that thing because it kept absolutely double front kicking me in the chest as I was trying to freaking run away on my Cycret, dude. This thing literally just kept flying at me with 2 feet aimed right at my chest, and then I ended up getting downed, so that's unfortunate. But the monster overall is really cool. It's interesting that this thing deals with the bleed effect, as we don't see that too often, or at least I haven't seen that too often, so that's pretty cool. Overall design is really nice. He's a force to be reckoned with for sure. I mean, I carded day one, so yeah, man, really cool monster. I like him. Also, as you hear it right now, we'll go over there real quick. The Diva actually has a new song, or at least it's new to me, is freaking amazing, dude. Sounds incredible. I mean, let's just take a second. Like, come on, man. Absolutely freaking amazing, dude. They cooking. They cooking with the Diva songs for sure, and the performances. I mean, come on, dude. It is really nice now that we have the item box next to the tent. Instead of having to go into the tent every single time we need to do something, you can just go up to the item box, you can do the little essentials that you need to do, or if you need to do even more, then you go into the tent like normal. A massive highlight for Title Update 2 is layered weapons. We officially have the ability to make our weapons look like any other weapons that we have, instead of having to have the base design. So if you really like a certain weapon, but you don't like the look of the weapon, now you can change that. So that is really nice. In Title Update 2, they also added a bunch of quality of life stuff. One of the things I didn't even think they were going to add, I wasn't even thinking about this, you can actually change your handler. So if you don't want to use Alma as your handler, now you can make Eric your handler. And although many people may not like this kid, hey, this makes the opportunity for possible different handlers in the future as well. So they're testing it out, they're trying it out, and if you want Alma, you can have Alma. If you want Eric, you can have Eric. So maybe in the future we'll be able to have even more handlers. Pretty cool, and I wasn't expecting them to do that, so it's just a nice little thing that they added. Basically every single weapon in the game except 2, one of those being the greatsword, I forgot what the other one was, got a buff or a balance, a tweak, a slight nerf in certain areas, but other buffs in other areas. Really nice, man. They have well-rounded, essentially every weapon now, and every weapon has gotten the proper treatment that it deserves, even though I only use greatsword and the hammer. Big bonks, big weapons, big damage. That is where my brain goes. But I am really happy that all the other players that have been enjoying all the other weapons have gotten some nice treatment as well. So that's nice, man. Now, something I do want to talk about, not Title Update 2 related, but that's performance. Everybody has been talking about the performance of this game and how now apparently it has this overwhelmingly negative review on Steam because it runs so poorly, and it has since launch. I'm going to be completely honest, man. This game has run like an absolute dream for me, and I may be the exception, not the rule, right? But it has run so buttery, crystal clear from launch even until now with very few issues, and I have a 3080. I don't have some beefy, crazy rig. You know, I stream from the same computer while I'm gaming from that same computer. Like, most of the complaints that I've seen from people saying that the game just runs like absolute garbage are the people that are like the PC maxers that have like just the most absolutely just upgraded to the 9, just upgraded to the freaking gills PCs. They got a 5090 Ti. They got 128 gigabytes of 84,000 megahertz RAM, and they got, you know, the freaking Intel i74 12 9 11000K. Like, dog. Look, man, I don't know if you're trying to run the game at like the highest settings possible. I don't know if you're trying to go for like ultra luminescent ray tracing and get 7,000 FPS, but like, dude, if that's what you're trying to get out of the game, you got to remember you're hunting monsters and turning them into hats with your buddies. You know what I'm saying? This isn't God of War Ragnarok. It's not Detroit Become Human. It's not freaking Cyberpunk 2077. Like, you're not playing this for the most unbelievable, insane visuals, right? But even in that, the game looks freaking incredible. So, I don't know, man. Of course, I have heard complaints from people with 30 series GPUs. Yeah, see, like, the stuff like this, man, when the game turns, like, super bright like this, I mean, come on, dude. It's such a nitpick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, did the game just flashbang my eyeballs for 5 seconds? Yeah, and it's over. It's fixed. Like, you know what I mean? It's such a non-problem. Again, yeah, I've heard people that have 3080s or people that have other 3000 series cards or even 20 series cards that have been having issues with this game. Again, I don't know exactly what they're trying to get out of the game, what graphics that they're trying to run the game on or whatever, but again, I don't have some maxed super to the 9s PC, and I stream and record from that same computer while I'm gaming, and I've had next to no issues with this. Does the game crash every now and again? Yeah, what game doesn't? You know? But I'm not going to go cry and whine on Twitter because the game is a game and it has flaws like every single game has. Personally, this is what I run my settings on. So if anybody wants to check this out, you want to see what I got, this is what I got. This is what I run the whole game on, like this. I tweaked my settings a very small amount at the launch and then haven't touched it since. I've had no issues when it comes to visual situations or anything. I mean, look, this looks incredible. You know what I mean? I don't need this game to be 8K ultra resolution, 7,000 FPS. This looks pretty freaking good. I'm turning monsters into hats with my friends, man. Come on, dude. What are you really playing this game for? And of course, this leads me into there's not enough content in this game, right? Or I can't believe this game is barely getting content updates. Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. What kind of content are you trying to get out of this? I'm a full-time content creator, right? Like, I literally play games and make content on games for a living. I don't play games 24 hours a day, 18 hours a day, even 12 hours a day. I might play games 3 hours a day, maybe, if that. And I enjoy my time. And if I'm not enjoying something, I don't play it. There's just been so many complaints on this game not having enough content, but then you evaluate who's saying there's not enough content in the game, and it's the people who are literally playing this game 7 days a week for 6 hours, 7, 8, 10 hours a day. People want to talk about the fact that there's no content in these games, but you also haven't dropped the game since it dropped. I'm sorry, but if you're playing a game for 80 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours, even 40 hours, by the time the game's been out for 5 days, maybe the game doesn't have a content issue. Maybe you're playing it too much. Now, I'm not going to say that Wilds is a perfect game, because no game is a perfect game. Of course, you may have your perfect game, but no game is a perfect game to everybody. And my experience with Wilds doesn't shape how the other 10 million people who play this game play this game. And it's the same thing with the people that say there's not enough content. There might not be enough content for you, but that doesn't mean that there's not enough content for the other 10 million people that play this game. And also, if the game sucked so badly, do you really think it would sell 10 million copies? If the game performed so bad and had such poor performance, do you think it'd be doing so good across every platform? No. Nowadays, dude, there is just so much complaining, such a lack of contentment, such a lack of looking in the mirror and being like, you know, maybe I am the problem. You know, maybe I do play this game too much. Maybe I do rag on this game too much. You know, maybe I could go play something else. No, it's just projecting everything on something. There's not enough content. It's not difficult enough. I could make a whole video talking about that. This game not being challenging enough. If Wilds is not challenging enough for you, that's completely fine. But we know how this goes. People said the exact same thing about World, and then World became one of the most difficult Monster Hunter games. Do you remember how many people were complaining about how difficult and the absolute insane spike in difficulty that Alatreon was, or Fatalis? What are we doing here, man? Also, remember, did World launch with Alatreon? No. Did it launch with Fatalis? No. I was talking with my good friend today on stream, Mesa, big shout out to her, and she has been playing the Monster Hunter franchise for quite some time. Something that she had said, I'm paraphrasing here, but the fact that Monster Hunter used to be so niche that they didn't even know if they were going to be getting the next game, because they didn't even know if the game was popular enough to make another game. Why can't we just enjoy Wilds? Why can't we just let people enjoy Wilds? If the game is not difficult enough for you, take a break. I even said that. And somebody said in the comments a couple of weeks ago, they were just like, take a break and come back when this game is drastically easier than other Monster Hunter games. That's fine. It may be drastically easier for you, but also the game is no longer niche. So do 10 million players want to play this absolute ridiculous, grindy level of gameplay? Or do they want to grab a couple beers and jump in Discord or in PlayStation chat with their homies and fight some Lagiacrus? You know what I mean? Like, you have to understand that it's not about you. Your experience does not shape how 10 million people play this game. My experience does not shape how 10 million people play this game. If you're not enjoying something, how about you take a break from it? Or you stop playing it or stop doing it in total. I think Capcom knows what they're doing, man. I think they have a pretty good idea, and I think it's a great thing that they want to broaden their horizons and they want to reach more people. Do you want this to be niche forever? And this never gets the recognition that it should, and there's millions of people that never get to experience this because it just has this unbelievably insane learning curve and this unbelievably toxic community that's like grind, that nobody ever wants to play it? Or do you actually think it's a good thing that new people are willing to check this out, whereas other Monster Hunters, maybe they didn't want to? You know, there are some players that just want to kick back and be able to play with their friends. Maybe there's older players that are playing with their kids. How about you let them enjoy their experience? Because their experience is not yours, and your experience is not theirs. If Capcom didn't know what they were doing, They would not be making Monster Hunter games 21 years after the first game. They would not be dropping DLCs. They would not be coming up with new monsters. They would not be adding tempered and arch-tempered versions of monsters. They would not continue to do this if it wasn't worth it. Your time is incredibly valuable, so thank you very much for spending any of it watching and or listening to me talk about Title Update 2 in Monster Hunter Wilds. And before you go, I have a Bible verse for you. It comes from the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. And it says, "This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good." And it goes on to list other things as the verses continue, but if you look out your window, you can see these very things happening in today's world. We know that the return of Jesus will be as in the days of Noah, and what was happening in the days of Noah, these very things. And as we know, Jesus said that he comes quickly. And as we also know, one day is like 1,000 years to God, and 1,000 years like one day. We are in the end times, and you can see all of these things happening around you. It is so unbelievably important to be selfless, valuing others above yourself, going above and beyond, serving, being Christ-like. Time is running out. For me, for everybody. Time waits for nobody. How are we spending our final moments? Even if those final moments are 30 more years. God bless you, and I'll catch you in the next one.